Welcome to DFHowTo. In this episode, we'll be getting into the Embark Screen mechanics after site selection. Let's get to it. Embarking on a new fortress is a two-step process. First you select where, then you select with whom and what supplies. Not everything is in your control here, and not everything is available. For example, while you can choose the skills of the dwarves coming with you, you cannot choose their favorite foods. The civilization you chose to join in site selection will influence what items and creatures are available to take with you as well. Once done with site selection and choosing Embark, you'll reach a screen where you can decide on your Embark profile. Play Now is a quick start setup that is usually a poor choice, but we'll discuss it briefly so you know why. Mostly the skill assignment across the dwarves can be counterproductive. You get a miner, which is fine, but only one. You'll have a woodworker who does carpentry and bow making, which is useful in the early game, but this is a limited use skill set. Then you get a woodcutter, who is also your farmer and brewer and cook. These are skills you want split up across at least 3 different dwarves, as food and booze generation will become a near constant thing, and you don't want your farmer distracted when first establishing yourself. The last 4 are stoneworker, jeweler, fisherman, and fish dissector, which between the 4 of them have one skill you actually care about early, masonry. Add to that, you lose 300 points worth of equipment, and you can't enjoy the naming process of the fort and community, so it's a lose-lose situation. Preparing carefully allows you to assign your dwarves their skills directly, as well as picking exactly what creatures, such as male and female for breeding, you want to bring along. This is done through a point system, which we'll discuss shortly. Once you've set up an Embark you like as a baseline, you can save that profile and it will appear below these 2 options as a reusable Embark profile. If you were using the Lazy Noob pack and activated some of the Embark profiles on the options screen before you started up, you'll have some options here already. If you're going to select one and you're new, try DFVidTuts2015, which is Captain Duck's tutorial Embark profile. If an item isn't available for the civilization that was included in the profile, you'll be warned once you move to the next screen. For now, let's review how careful preparation works. There are flavor elements here you can play with. You can change the name of the fort with Shift F, and the name of your group with Shift G. The symbol of your fort can be changed using Y. On the naming screens, you can either fully customize the name, or you can hit R to have it randomized for you until you see something interesting. C will clear the current selection, and E will let you search partial or full words. Hit E again and then backspace to clear the filter. The symbol will be randomized if you don't set it for anything specific. To view a dwarf's information, highlight the dwarf on the left and hit V. Here you'll see an overview screen of the dwarf in question, including physical characteristics, preferred materials and items, food tastes, dislikes, dreams, other information. These can have very minor effects towards optimization, but can be ignored for the most part. The mechanical elements will be setting skills on your dwarves and choosing items for the Embark. On the dwarf assignment screen, you can move up and down via the arrow keys. Left and right arrow keys selects different columns. Not listed on the screen is using page up, page down to advance the skills screen quickly. You start with 1,504 points for your Embark spread out across items you're bringing and skills you're assigning to dwarves. Unless you remove items from the caravan, you'll typically have 400 points to work with for your dwarves, which will be a little short. Assignment of skills will use up your Embark points, which you'll also use for supplies later in setup. Every skill on every dwarf will start at 0. Each level will cost you the number you see on the right. Adjusting levels uses plus and minus after you start to get over to the list. To adjust the miner up, for example, will cost me 5 for the first level, then 6, then 7, and so on. Maximum starting level for a dwarf is 5. Maximum levels across all skills for a starting dwarf is 10, but they can grow later. If you hit Tab, you'll go to the item selection screen. Like the dwarf screen, arrows will move you around up and down and switch columns. Page up, page down works here too. On this screen on the left will be a default loadout for a new Embark. You can adjust the number of a particular item by using plus and minus. On the right are animals you're bringing with you to your Embark for breeding and slaughter purposes. You will bring 2 large animals with you to your Embark, which will be hauling your wagon for free, but you won't know what they are until you get there. Here you're selecting additional creatures to bring along. To include a new item in your Embark, hit N for New. This will bring you to a category screen that you can manually scroll through with arrows page up, page down, or your number pad with numlock on. If you start typing letters, you will immediately begin filtering the list of available items. Any item already in your Embark list will not be listed here. The cost in Embark points of bringing one of the items along is also shown on the right. Once you've selected an item, hit Enter and you'll be returned to the Embark profile. I'll discuss skill choices and specific Embark items in a supplemental if interested, otherwise choose what looks good. Booze, food, seeds, metal picks, and axes are all good choices for starters. Once you're ready, hit E to Embark. If all of your points are spent, you'll immediately be sent to the arrival screen, else you'll get a warning you have leftover points. You can leave the arrival screen by hitting Enter. Congratulations, you've started your first fortress. Let's play Dwarf Fortress.